In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Excel's wonderful checkbox feature. So what I have here, this is the end result. So I've just got a little running program, and what I wanted to do was every time I did a session, I wanted to check that off that I've done it. So I've got it's a 16-week program, and with each one, I want to just mark off when I've completed that session. And this is what it will look like at the end. And with each one, I've just done some conditional formatting and also looking at the number of completed runs and what I haven't completed. So just give you a quick demo of what it will look like once it's completed. So if I click this one, it's completed that one. It'll give it conditional formatting saying that workout is done. It's also will say now that I've completed one out of my 3 runs for the week, and not completed now is just the tempo on the long run. So the interval run is completed. And again, if I do my tempo session on the Friday in week 1, same thing, it'll say now, it'll format that green. It'll say I've completed 2 runs out of the 3, and the only one not completed for the week is the long run. And then if I click this one, it'll say, great job, all done for the week. And additionally, at the bottom here, there is a total saying I've now completed 1 out of the 16 tempo runs for the week. Similarly, 1 out of the 16 intervals and 1 out of the 16 long runs. So that's what it's going to look like at the end. So let's put this together. Okay, so the first part is to add the checkboxes. So here we have just the basic running program. So just a little running program, 16-week one to get to a 5K. And what I want to do is add the checkbox next to each of the sessions. So to add the checkbox, I just highlight on the cell that I want to add it to, and I go up to Insert and then Checkbox. And you don't have to do it one cell at a time. So what I want to do is this entire, next to each of the sessions, so I can highlight that whole area and then again go Insert and Checkbox. And that'll then add a checkbox next to each of the sessions. And as you can see, if I put my cursor on or go into that cell, on the formula bar, it says false. So that's the default if it's not selected. And then if I click this checkbox, it'll go to true. So that's what we can use when we want to add some formulas and a conditional formatting. Okay, so now that we've added the checkboxes, the next part will be to apply some conditional formatting so that it uses the check mark to make it easy to see if we've done that session. So at the moment it looks like this. So against next to any of the sessions, I can click that it's done, and that's great. But what I wanted to do was add some conditional formatting so it's easy to see that if I've done that session. So let's select the area that we want to apply the conditional formatting to. Select conditional formatting, then new rule. And we're going to use a formula here to determine which cells to format. So we'll select that one. We will say if it's equal to that particular cell. So you can say if that particular cell equals true, but in this case, we can also just say if it's equal to that cell. Now the reference we will use will be the reference so that E is absolute. And then we can select the format that we would like. So in this case, I'm just going to give it a fill and just this green color to show that if that session has been completed. So if we select that one, select OK, and then OK, then we should have our conditional formatting. So let's try that out. So if we select that we've done this particular session, so click this checkbox, and as you can see, it now goes green. So it's easy to see it's conditionally formatted so that we can see if we've completed that session. So the next thing I wanted to do was just add in some totals at the bottom. So I just wanted to see out of the intervals, so we've got a 16-week program, 16 weeks of interval training. I just wanted to see how many of those sessions I'd actually completed. So to do that, we can use the count if formula to look at the number of checkboxes that we've checked off, and a count a formula for the number of sessions. So let's put that together. So if we go to count if, and then open bracket. Now the range here will be this range here where we've got the checkboxes. If we go comma, and then the criteria will be if it's true. So let's just start with that formula and put that in. At the moment that's showing 0, but let's scroll up and say we've done our session in week 1. And click that to true. We've got the conditional formatting, and then down here it'll say we've completed 1 session. But I also want to put in a total. So to do that, what we can do is If we go ampersand, and we can just do our divided by, give that a space, and ampersand. And the formula we'll use here is count A. And then the count A will be on the number of interval sessions. So again, we can do highlight this area, close bracket. And that'll show now that we've completed one session out of the 16 sessions. So again, if I click any of these, it'll show 2 out of 16. So there are our total formulas. So the next part I wanted to put in was how many runs have we completed for that particular week. So again, we can use a similar formula to what we did with the totals, using a combination of the count if and the count A. So for the week, to put in how many runs we've completed, we can use count if. So we can say count if that is true plus, again, count if this one is true plus count if this one is true. So that will give us the number of runs that we've completed for that week. And again, if we click one of those, it'll say we've completed one of the runs. So again, if we add in the count A formula about how many runs we had for that particular week. So again, I'll just use the ampersand and the little divided by so you can see how many we've done. And we're going to add in the count A. And in this case, it'll be count A of these 3 cells. So to see how many runs do we have for that particular week. In this case, now we have our formula. So if we add in, check any of these sessions off that we've completed, it'll show that we've done 1 out of the 3 sessions, and here 2, and then 3. So that's looking good. So let's just copy that formula all the way down here. Okay, and the last part, what I wanted to show in the week was what sessions haven't I completed. So, I mean, I can obviously see from the checkbox, but I just wanted to have a nice little demonstration here of what I haven't completed for the week. So to do that, there's a couple of little steps to it. So we can use the filter function for this. So if we add in a filter formula. Now for the intervals, the array that we want to have is here is intervals, and we want to make that absolute reference. And then what we want to say here is if that equals false, and then if it's empty, we just won't want to show anything. So in this case, it'll show, okay, we haven't completed our interval session for that week. Now if we check this off, then that one won't show. So what we can do is we can add the filters in for the other 2 sessions. So we can add in, and we can just copy this formula. In there, in this case, we want to make that H3 and I4. So it'll show the tempo session. And again, if we copy that in and do amp, and we want to add that in as, in this case, K for the long run and L. So now we have our sessions that are showing that we haven't completed. So if we click any of these, it'll remove one of them. Now it's showing in all together. So to show it on separate lines, what we can do is we can add something else in here. So let's just do our car function and add in 10, and then add that one, and we'll add that one in here as well. And now we've got that showing on 3 separate lines. So it's showing that, okay, we haven't completed the intervals, tempo, and long run. And if I click any of these, it will only show the ones I haven't completed. So that's great. So what we want to do is put that in this not completed section. But I also want to show something to say, if I've completed everything, give me a nice little something congratulatory message. So to do that, I'd like to have a little thumbs up symbol from Excel. So to access the emojis, just select Windows and full stop, and we'll bring up the emojis, and let's do a thumbs up. So maybe 3 fun. And there we are. So we can again use this formula to do a little if statement. So let's copy this formula, and we'll go into here and do an if statement. So we're going to say equals if. Then in this case, it'll be if the count of how many sessions I've completed, so the particular count ifs, equals the number of sessions for that week. Now, if that is true, then I want to just have a little message saying, something like, great job, all done. And for now, if it's false, we'll just leave that as blank. Okay, so there we are. So then we've got that part in there. Now let's just add our little emojis in there as well, just for fun. So we can add them into this formula here. And then hit enter. So now we should get a message if we've completed all our sessions. So great, so that's looking good. Now we can just delete this one, add this particular formula in as the false. So if we haven't completed all our sessions, then we want it to show what sessions haven't we completed for the week. So let's copy this in. And now instead of here not showing anything for false, we will show that one. So again, if we hit enter, we can delete this one. So now it's showing what sessions I haven't completed for that particular month. So if we now click on any of these, it'll show I've completed 1 session. It'll now show I haven't completed my tempo and my long run. And again, if I click this one, it'll now show I've completed 2 out of the 3 runs, and I just haven't completed my long run. And then if I click this one, it'll now say, great job, all done for the week. So that's awesome. So let's copy that one down all the way. Now, if you want to, you can also add some conditional formatting on the completed runs and when you've completed everything. So for example, here, I've just put some conditional formatting so that if you've completed everything, it goes a different color. So now as you work your way through the weeks, as you select each session, you'll get the conditional formatting, so it's easy to see, and then you'll see what you haven't completed for that particular week. And then each week, as you complete everything, you get a little thumbs up and a great job, all done. And then at the bottom, you'll get your updated totals as well if you want to track those particular sessions. So this was a quick video on how to insert checkboxes and some practical uses for it. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.